Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start the planning and zoning meeting. Here we are in the new Watertown Municipal Center on 61 Echo Lake Road. This is a new place for our meeting, and this is, of course, a live meeting, no more Zooming and all those other things. Reason why I felt it was important to have this meeting live is there are a lot of matters on the agenda, and I think it is better to hear people in person. And also for those who want to be participants in public participation, it is a good opportunity rather than fiddling around with a computer or a cell phone. So that's one of the reasons we're holding the meeting here tonight. It will hopefully be our permanent location. I believe things are getting back to normal in Connecticut and in the United States, something that we all look forward to. Normal is the way we are going. And it will be a normal situation, I believe, very soon throughout America. We also have tonight this meeting here and the new address 61 Echo Lake Road. So when we have to cite any information, it will be that. But tonight's meeting is September 2nd, 2020, and we are starting it at 6:32. I'd like to call that meeting to order. And Carol, do you have the roll?
Present.
Here.
Here. Here. Here. Here.
Thank you, Carol. We have more than enough for a quorum. You'll notice that on our roll, after our roll call tonight, we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I've also added that to the agenda because I do feel that is an integral part of our life here in Watertown. When I'm over at the high school, every day they start off with the pledge, and they do have a moment of silence. I think that's one of the great features of our high school, to start the day appropriately, and I give the administrators and the teachers applause for starting the day in that fashion for all our good students. So if we would all rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First matter on it is public participation. The way that they is set up, there's mics right here in front of on this long table. There are two mics. Anybody who would like to participate, you should not comment at this time if you're here for any matter that is on the agenda. When that matter comes up on the agenda, that would be the appropriate time, and that would be recorded as part of the minutes. So is there anybody who would like to participate? Is there anyone who would like to participate? Is there anyone who, please come to the mic, please. State your name and address. Either one. You have to push a button there, Ms. Camara.
Well, that would make sense. Okay, thank you. Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place in Oakville. I would just like to understand, I see here that there's a Lifetime Achievement Award for Mr. Demers, but what I don't understand is how he's still sitting on this, because he was appointed to the town council last night. And I witnessed with the charter commission that Rachel Ryan had to resign because she had become a member of the town council. So I'm curious why Mr. Demers is still on this commission.
Okay, I would like to inform you that Councilwoman Ryan, who was replaced to the council, had to vote on the charter. So she therefore chose to remove herself because she could not vote, because she votes on the council on the charter. And she could not go and make the charter forward. So therefore, that's why she resigned.
So you're saying that a council member can also be, I've never seen any other council members on a board or commission that they appoint the people to. It kind of seems a little bit odd to me that someone can serve on a commission and that also appoints the people to the, serve on a council that appoints the people to these commissions. Can you explain that to me? It just, I've
Well,
never seen it.
I'll try. The best thing I could say is Carl Mancini. I don't know if you're familiar with the gentleman, but he was also a councilman and a member of the planning and zoning. So it's not a precedent-setting thing for Commissioner Demers to be in that situation. So I hope that's enough information for you to
Well, it's
satisfy.
interesting information, and I will address it with the council. I think it's a little bit strange. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Chairman?
Yes, sir. Would you please go to the microphone?
Yes, sir.
State your name and address.
Yes, sir. My name is Sean Butterly, 59 Litchfield Road, Watertown. I just have a general comment in the public participation. It's almost 100 years that our General Assembly first put in zoning laws. And at the time they did, the general purpose stated in 1923 was to prevent the close arrangement or constructions of buildings upon the streets, to secure safety from fire and other dangers, and to avoid undue concentration of population, to provide health, comfort, and general welfare and living and working conditions. As you gentlemen proceed and do your jobs here, I would hope that you'd think, especially in this COVID climate where we don't know what's going to happen in the months ahead, that as you make your decisions, you would consider a concentration in a development that is unnecessary and is a choice on your part should be given due pause, because in the end, the more we have a concentration, the worse our problems could possibly be. So I know sometimes you get motions here for changes of zoning permits, so you have a further elaborate development. This is a tough time in our history at the almost 100-year anniversary of zoning law for us to do those kinds of things. So I just have that general comment as a member of the public. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Putley. Any other comment from the public? Any other comment from the public? Any other comment from the public? Hearing none, we can move on with the agenda. The next matter on the agenda is, of course, the acceptance of the minutes for the August 19th, 2020 meeting.
Chairman, those minutes are not even available to you.
They are still being printed. Okay. I would seek a motion to table.
So moved. Mark
Oh.
Ramo.
Motion, Mark Ramo,
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Demers. One thing I would like all members of the commission to state their name so that the recording will know who is making the motions. At times, she has trouble picking up just by voice. The motion was made by Mr. Commissioner Ramo and seconded by Commissioner Demers. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion is carried unanimously. Moving on, the staff's report. Mark, do you have any report for us?
I'll keep it brief, Mr. Chair. And it's only been 2 weeks since the last meeting. I'm happy to report that the online and e-permit system for both the Land Use Department and Building Services, called Municity 5, is making great progress. The Building Department is entering information in both systems. They're maintaining their current system, but also dually entering information into the new system to test drive it, so to speak. And land use, we should be doing the same shortly. We've got, of course, we issue a zoning permit day in and day out, and that's been fairly settled, and we'll start entering information into that. And then we're working on such items as site plans, special permits, variances, et cetera. So that's coming along very well, and we look forward to the progress and efficiency that a system like that can give us. On developmental notes, I've heard from, and I might have mentioned this last time, Ion Bank is moving forward and doing their due diligence for a location of a building, a branch building at, I guess what I'll call the old Watertown Auto Sales site on Main Street. We've met on a pre-construction basis with TheraPlant, who is about to break ground for a 15,000 square foot footprint, 45,000 square foot total square feet addition to their building in the industrial park. And it appears that 10-acre mall, the old Kmart, is moving forward on a fairly quick basis in terms of performing their renovations for their new tenants. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions from commissioners to Mark? Any questions? Seeing none, let's move on to the agenda. The next matter is Chairman's report. First, I would like to thank all the people as far as members of the staff who worked very hard to get this meeting together. It's all new. And to get out the notices that we had moved our virtual meeting to a live meeting. And it was a lot of effort on your part to make sure all was legally posted, all was legally done. And as you can see by tonight, it appears all the participants are here and we're ready to go for business. And Mark, I think in your report, it's good to show that we are moving forward with the sound development. The next thing is, if you've noticed on your agenda, if people have picked up the agenda, is a Lifetime Achievement Award for our new counselor, who is Ken Demers. He is new to the council, but not new to town. Ken has been in town for over 40 years, a large family, a lot of brothers. I don't believe any sisters, 2 sisters, very large family, and which is good. And I have a special award that I have to give you tonight because there would have been an opportunity to award this at the AquaTurf. It is for your service on planning and zoning. And we'd like to get a picture, and if you would rise, maybe we could share together. We have our able photographer. Okay, get this. Here we go. This is for over 12 years of service on planning and zoning. Thanks, Rich. Good? All right. Thank you, Ken. And I'm gonna give you a bump.
Thank you.
And if you notice, I'm not wearing my mask is because I do have asthma, one of those problems. And it is very hard to breathe and talk and run a meeting. So I'm willing to take a risk. Moving on, under new public hearings. A new public hearing is the application from the estate of Patrick. Is that what we're doing first on that? I had another agenda. Is that the one? That's good. Yep, we're good. Application for the estate of Patrick Graziano and Jennifer Yeaman, executor for Yeaman and Grant, a subdivision on existing on lot 384 Litchfield Road, Watertown, Connecticut, map 69, block 34, lot 4 into 2 lots. I guess this is dividing this existing lot into 2. We have a speaker for the applicant.
I am the
State your
speaker.
name and address.
Yep, for the record, David Hughes.
Excuse me, Dave, I'm sorry, just for the record, Anthony, if today he needs to read the legal notice.
Okay,
Sorry,
no problem.
Secretary Anthony.
The Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Watertown, Connecticut will hold public hearings on Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020.
Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020 at 6:30 PM on the following applications. This meeting will be a web-based virtual meeting. Now, this notice was published on August 27th, 2020. On August 28th, 2020, the meeting was published in the local town times with a notice that it's going to be actually a meeting here. Things were changed. And again, it was published on August 31st in the Waterbury Republican that the meeting was going to be here. And again, notice was sent by mail to all abutters that this location would be for the meeting. All right. Application from the estate of Patrick M. Graziano, Jennifer Yaman, executor, care of Yaman and Grant for re-subdivision of an existing lot on 384 Litchfield Road, Watertown, Connecticut, map 69, block 34, lot 4 into 2 lots. And site plan special permit number 2020, Henry Duhamel, 404 Buckingham Street, Oakville, Connecticut, for an addition of an apartment, map 114B, block 157, lot 18, in an R12.5 zoning district. And application from attorney Franklin Pillacy for an amendment to the Watertown zoning map from R30 to R12.5 residential district. And application from attorney Franklin Pillacy for site plan special permit number 2020-05 for a 3-family dwelling at 542 Davis Street, Watertown, Connecticut, map 144, block 97/13 in an R12.5 zone. At these hearings, the commission will hear interested persons. A copy of the applications are on file in the Planning and Zoning Office, Watertown Municipal Center, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. A copy of the proposed re-subdivision application and zone change application are also on file in the Watertown Town Clerk's Office, 61 Echo Lake Road, Watertown, Connecticut, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Dated at Watertown, Connecticut, this 20th day of August, 2020 and August 27th, 2020.
Thank you, Commissioner. Applicant, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is David Hughes, professional engineer, registered land surveyor, 57 Norway Street, Oakville, Connecticut. For those of you who don't know where this parcel is, 384 Litchfield Road is directly across the street from the West Road intersection with Litchfield Road. The existing parcel is a parcel that is in the estate of Patrick Graziano. Jennifer Yaman is the executor. Her family and her siblings own the property currently. This property is just under 86 acres in size. It is also the remaining parcel from the Peck Farm subdivision of 2005 that was done, I believe was on Claxton Avenue. There was a piece that was subdivided. I don't remember exactly how many lots were there, but this piece was subdivided then. The primary reason for our subdivision is to create 2 lots. One is a lot of the existing farmhouse and some structures, and the second lot would be remaining acreage. So lot number 1 would be considered the farmhouse, which is going to be 1.75 acres. Lot number 2 would be 84 acres. On your plan, you will see, or on this set of plans, you will see that there is a conceptual house and driveway and septic system designed for lot number 2, which is the 84 acres. And that is a requirement of the zoning regulations and also the Torrington Area Health regulations. And that is to prove that that this second parcel could be a building lot. That doesn't necessarily mean that that house will be built in the future. It could be. If it is, or it is proposed to be built in the future, we would have to go back to wetlands for a permit. We would also have to go back to Torrington Area Health, and we'd also have to get a zoning permit. We have met all the requirements of the staff and Torrington Area Health for this subdivision. And it's pretty straightforward. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. Are there any questions from commissioners? Are there any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Mark, do you have anything to say on this matter?
Mr. Chairman, I've provided you with a resolution. Of course, staff did review just a couple of comments. The staff recommends a waiver of the provision to provide an environmental impact statement as the development does not represent significant proposal, nor does it have a significant impact on drainage, traffic, groundwater quality, or other environmental impacts. The applicant, we queried the applicant about the provision of open space, and they provided us with a letter that essentially says that it's a two-lot subdivision. Lot 2 will remain a consistent 84-acre parcel, which does contain a significant amount of wetlands and watercourses, namely Steel Brook, portion of Steel Brook and associated wetlands. Again, that 84-acre parcel will remain intact. So given that it's a two-lot subdivision, we would again recommend or support the waiver from open space requirements. If there is ever an additional proposal for subdivision, for a re-subdivision, then the commission could take that issue up at that time. Just a note in the resolution, it was pointed out that we had included a condition number 6, which called for a certificate of liability insurance that was inserted and not appropriate to this particular re-subdivision that is more geared towards a subdivision, a public subdivision road. So we would ask that you approve without or strike condition number 6. We also had a conversation about condition number 7 about a pre-construction meeting, but that's pretty much a standard boilerplate language and only applies upon the initiation of any activity. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Are there any questions from commissioners? Any questions? Yes.
Are we going to strike 7 too?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
Are there any other comments? Any more comments from the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Through the chair, I do have one more question. Is there somewhere on the print that tells us how much wetlands are actually here?
That's a good question. I believe for the total parcel of 86 acres, there was 5.4 acres of wetlands.
It looks like a lot more. That's why I asked.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any other questions, commissioners? Any questions from public? I believe no other information is needed, sir.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I think at this time, it'd be appropriate, as we go through, since we have several, and we will take further action later in the meeting, but to close the public hearing if it is in accord with the commissioners, I would take a motion to close the public hearing here.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing regarding item number 1 under new public hearings. Mark Ramo.
Do I have a second?
I second that for Antonacci.
The motion has been seconded by Ms. Commissioner Antonazzi, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention? Motion is carried unanimously. Item number 2. A site plan, special permit for Henry, I guess it's Dumel, what is it? Dumel? 404 Buckingham Street, Oakville, Connecticut, converting a 2-family to a 3-family dwelling. Map 114B, block 157, lot 118 in a R-12.5 zone district. I believe you are the applicant.
Yes, sir.
State your name and address, please.
I'm Henry Duhamel, 183 Jericho Road, Watertown.
Would you like to comment on your plans for this building?
No, I just, according to the regulations that I read, it says that now that I'm non-conforming, when I bought the building, it was commercial zone there. And somewhere along the line, it got changed. But at any rate, in the regulations, it says that we should go with, try to keep it in the regulations that it is now, in the zoning that it is now. So that would make an apartment for people
So this would be,
instead of a business.
this would be on the top of the existing 2-family. Is there room for another apartment? Are you going to make an addition?
As the building stands now, there are 2 apartments on the 2nd floor. Well, a 2nd and 3rd floor.
Okay,
The one apartment has, the apartment on the south side has the 3rd floor as well. And the apartment on the north side is just one floor, just the 2nd floor.
and on the ground
And
floor?
on the ground floor on the south side, there's a hair salon. And the other side is empty.
What's on the other side?
It's empty.
Empty, okay. All right. Mark, would you like to comment, please?
Mr. Chairman, staff is reviewing this application as a existing non-conforming parcel, since it does seem to predate zoning. It's located in the R-12.5 zone, which does allow three family dwellings. While it might not strictly meet today's current zoning standards, again, we're looking at it in that non-conforming manner. And since there's no expansion of footprint, the work is all being done internally. We're proceeding on that manner. I had a conversation with the fire marshal. We asked Mr. Duhamel for some additional information. As a result of that, she was looking for specific information on the specific layout, what floor it was located, what the entrances and exits are. She's familiar with the building and wants to make sure that the new apartment, the new dwelling unit will meet fire safety standards. For that reason, it's still under review. I'm waiting for comments back from the fire marshal and respectfully request that you table the application until the October meeting.
Thank you. You've heard the comments, sir. Do you have any other further comments? We tentatively are considering tabling this, and once we would get some report from the fire marshal, as you would agree, is a very important part of a third family, and I'm sure you're definitely interested in public safety,
Of course.
of course. So what we'll do, we'll table it and we'll put it on the agenda, and by that time, I am sure that the fire marshal will review and make sure all codes are met for that third family. And any other comments from members of the commission?
This would not be a family. This would be like a one person. Or
It's
maybe
a smaller unit.
maybe two, but it would.
Okay,
I have a lot, at this point in time, I have a lot of people interested,
I'm sure.
single people, you know.
Very good. Okay, so we're going to have, I need a motion to table.
Make a motion to table item number 2, site plan special permit number 2020-4.
Okay, the motion has been made to table by Commissioner Ramo. Do we have a second?
I'll second it. Ken Demers.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, abstention, motion is carried unanimously, and this will be set on the agenda for October, sir. Thank you. Pardon me?
Somebody really would like to get in there.
Right. It will be on the agenda in October. And if you get the fire marshal there, it should be cleared up. Thank you. Next one on the item number 3. Applicant, Attorney Franklin Pilacy, for an amendment to the Watertown zoning map to adjust the district boundary, Davis Street / Everett Lane, from an R30 to an R-12.5 residential zone district.
Mr. Chairman?
Attorney Pilacy, yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself from item 3 and 4.
Oh, it's coming from the left.
Okay.
Commissioner is recusing himself. The mayor is recusing himself and leaving the room. And now, Attorney Pilacy.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, Franklin Pilacy, 365 Main Street, Watertown, Connecticut, on behalf of the applicant. This involves a small number of properties in the Davis Street, Everett Lane area. And the application goes to
Push the mic, a red light should go on. It's all new technology, don't worry, there we go. Could you repeat what you just said?
Again, Franklin Pilacy, 365 Main Street, Watertown, Connecticut, on behalf of the applicant. The present application is seeking a zone change from R30 to R-12.5 for 6 properties described on the application and shown on the map that was filed with the application. The properties were initially zoned 12.5 residential and continued in that zoning district for decades. At some point during a prior large-scale rezoning of Watertown, the properties were changed on the zoning map to R-30. It is likely that this change on the zoning map was an error for a number of reasons. One is 5 of the 6 properties are still listed with the assessor as 12.5 zoning district on the assessor's card. 5 of the 6 properties became non-conforming. If in fact it was intended to change to R30, they would have all been made non-conforming because they were never big enough to get anywhere near the R-30 status. The property owner that sold this property to the present owner reported that the property was in an R-12.5 district. The present owner bought the property believing it to be a 12.5 zoning district based upon representations of the seller and based upon the reporting on the assessor's card as a 12.5 zoning district. It's likely that most of the owners of these properties, if not all, were not aware that the property was changed at some point. I have submitted a written presentation with respect to compliance with the plan of development, and that has been submitted into your record. So I think that from many respects, this application will basically restore 5 properties to a conforming status. It will take them out of non-conforming status and make them conforming, which again supports a finding that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan of development. I'll just state for the record that all notices were sent, all affidavits and proof of notice have been delivered to zoning staff prior to tonight's public hearing.
I believe it is on this particular property that the regional, Naugatuck Valley Regional Authority said that there is no conflict with the thing. I do have that paper here.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
Nothing further. Are there any comments from the commission? Any comments from the commission? Is this property the one that there was a fire on?
Yes.
On this property?
Yes. Part of the overall plan is to rebuild a new house on that site.
Was the, is there still standing that fire building that caught fire?
I'm not sure if it's been taken down yet or not, but the plan is, if it's not already down, the plan is to take it down and replace it with a new building, new dwelling.
Was a tragedy. Okay, and any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Could you please come to the mic? Leave that mic on. Don't shut it off. It's good. Sir, could you please state your name and address? The mic is on.
I think he left it on. It is on?
Yes.
Okay. My name is John Everett. I'm the owner of 2 Everett Lane and the other 3 properties. Okay. First of all, this application that's applied here, it says that the property at 558 is non-conforming to an R30 zone. It is. It doesn't make any difference in that all this property, okay, other than that particular property is non-conformant in current use, meaning whether it's at 1.25 or whatever it is, or R30, it doesn't make any difference because it will not comply. The property that you're referring to and Mr. Pillacy is referring to is a 100% wetland, okay? And it doesn't comply. Basically, it has no water, no public services. It is 5.8 of an acre, half an acre. This application is for a permitted 3-family, which is not permitted in an R30, okay? So it is permitted in the 12.5. So this application basically is in an attempt to try and hide the fact that this is a spot zoning. You have included, Mr. Pillacy and his client have included my property. All right? And there's no application here to change my zoning at all. Now, exactly how he comes up with that, this is not the proper zoning, is probably because of the field card. The field card has been wrong for years, and I had Mr. Pillacy represent me basically on the protest of the taxpayer. But the town engineer, Paul, he did the survey on this property for me, and he confirmed that it is an R30, and Mark was there at the time we hung up the flag, the map, to confirm that it was R30 because the drawing was off, but the R30 has been there since zoning started. Now, again, this is an attempt to make this property a spot zoning and appear as though it's a subject to the whole area. If you want to change this area, you would change Davis Street to McDonald Road, not Everett Lane. So Why is my property included in this? It's a use of my name. My name is recognized all through this town for its honesty, okay? And going with the spot zoning, this implies favoritism, okay? Because he wants to use my property to establish a 3-family piece of property on a non-conforming lot that is under now current use. So if he takes this foundation out, he may not be able to build a yard shed in there because there's no water or anything. But if you approve this, okay, that's showing favoritism. Now, let's go to the owner that's applying. Mr. Pillacy is the applicant. The trouble is the owner, okay, happens to be EPM Development, LLC. Who's that? Okay. The only member of that LLC is Eric Markowitz. Eric Markowitz is the Republican Town Committee Chairman. And I will say, I am a Republican. Okay. He is the chairman. So being he's the chairman and he was, okay, the chairman of this board until he was asked to step aside. So now this says John is asking every Republican on this board to step aside from this vote because based on favoritism or, okay, anything else, this board should step aside from this because their relationship with Eric, okay, and the fact that he is the Republican Town Committee Chairman, he was a member of this board, and I don't know where he went, but I met him down at the end of the property with Eric, okay? So the association makes this conflict of interest. That's all I have to say, and this should be tabled. You should step aside. You don't have a quorum based on the fact that this is not going to be, because if you want to vote, okay, there's one Mr. Pelosi here, and there's 5 members of the Everett family here. So if you want a democratic society, okay, then put it to a vote. 1 against 5. The end of my comment is that in any democracy, okay, the 5 gets the precedence. Not in this case. In this case, we're looking for the 1 to get the precedence based on who he is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other comment from the public? Is there any other comment? Please come to the microphone, sir.
Yes.
State your name and address.
Yes, sir. My name is Sean Butterly, 59 Litchfield Road. In the light of what I read under the public participation part of this, I'd just like to say I saw 2 presentations tonight, and this one strikes me that if someone buys a home that is a single-family home, and I understand this was the Lockton family home, and then wants to expand that home to a 3-family, mistakenly bought the property thinking he could, that's between the 2 private, the seller and the buyer, not between this commission and the person. So I believe if the person who bought this home thought he was going to get a 3-family home, he has to work with the person who sold the property. And I'd like to say Mr. Everett seems to make a compelling case. He's not supposed to be somebody that's added to this to add value to the purchaser's property. A 3-family in Watertown is a treasure. We don't have many. But that was the Lockton home, a single-family dwelling for years and years. And I believe that's how it should stay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other comment from the public? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Darlene Everett Jacovino. I reside at 4 Everett Lane. It was mentioned by Attorney Pillacy that we were unaware that this property was zoned R30. That is not the case. My father happens to be John Everett, and we have been appealing our taxes every reassessment, pointing out the fact that they are R30, the properties are actually R30, yet the card says R1 12.5, yet nothing has ever been done. So we are fully aware and have always been aware those properties are R30 and not 125. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, ma'am. Please come forward. State your name and address, please.
My name's Wendy Morris, 79 Killeran Road, Watertown. My mother owns 558, and the residents of Watertown live here for the charm and the schools. Changing the zoning for this parcel on 542 allows for a 3-family house is a detriment to the neighborhood of single-family homes. It'll be a skyscraper surrounded by homes. The parcel's half an acre on a busy street. Most families usually have 2 cars per family. So how are 6 cars going to fit on a half an acre parcel with a 3-family house? And you know, Davis Street is a very busy road. And how are cars going to back out onto Davis Street? It's going to endanger the person who's backing out plus the people driving down the road. And it's well and septic. How is that going to support a 3-family house? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Please
Catherine-
state your name and address.
Yes, I know that. Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place in Oakville. I was by that property today, and it looks like an incredible amount of wetlands there. So even though, I guess whatever it is for acreage, which is less than an acre, as was just pointed out, I'm a little confused. I would think that this would need to go to wetlands first in order to even determine how much you could build on, because there's like a little brook running through there. So, you know, it makes, the previous speaker made a good point of if you're going to have all these cars, where are you going to park? But I'm not even sure how much you could build on if you don't check with the wetlands. So I would have thought that that would have been discussed first before coming here. The other, John Everett made a good point about the close relationship that the Republican Party has with the applicant. And it's come to my attention, I think that it should be considered that if Mr. Markowitz, who's the chairman of the Republican Town Committee, wants to have applications before P&Z, that he should probably step down from that position, because you're all appointed by that party, and it just smells really, really bad. You should consider that, because there's enough problems in this town with things that don't appear to be on the up and up. So it'd be a good idea to maybe think about that. Thank you.
Just to point of correction, members of the commission are appointed by the council, not by the party. Let us move on. Any further comments from the public? Any further comments from the public? Any comments at this time from commissioners or Mark? Do you have any comments, Mark? Especially on the lines.
Chairman.
Oh, yes. Commissioner Esposito?
Yes, I'd just like to say one thing. Using a little common sense, in this case, I think that the Everett family has a more legitimate case overall for mistakes that were made previous on what they need. That's all.
Mark, please.
Mr. Chairman, staff doesn't have a lot to say on this. The applicant is in the process of making a case in terms of the history of the parcel, and indicating, as they did, that they thought that zoning was changed incorrectly at some point. I do recollect a conversation with, a couple of conversations with Mr. Everett and Paul Benevich in terms of a discussion of whether the parcels were properly classified as R12.5 or R30. Although staff in the past, when there's a vested interest on behalf of the town has been actively involved in shaping a zone change. This, of course, is a zone line change, and we deferred to the applicant to make their case to the commission. Having said that, I did provide a resolution if the commission was so agreed or in compliance with the argument. Again, otherwise I leave it to your discretion at this point. If I may, there's been a couple of comments made about the next item on the agenda, which would be an associated site plan special permit for the three-family dwelling. But of course, first the commission would vote on the zone change, and it has been correctly pointed out that there's an indication of wetlands and watercourses on the property. The applicant and owner have been informed of that. They are in the process of, I believe, making an application to the Inland Wetlands Commission. And on that, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but on that second, on that, what are we? Item number four, it would be appropriate to, depending on your finding on item number 3, to table item number 4 until the Inland Wetlands Agency has had a chance to review. And then again, of course, for the very reason that item number 4 is dependent on item number 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from members of the commission? Yes.
I'd like to ask Mr. Pillacy to please expand on his statement that making this an R30 made these lots non-conforming.
Because 5 of the 6 lots involved in the zone change are not anywhere near big enough to meet the R30 residential requirement. They're all undersized.
Okay. What if the R30 residential requirement is how many square feet?
30,000. This application would bring them back into conformity with current zoning. I don't think it was ever intended to take a whole slew of properties and make them non-conforming.
Thank you.
I have a question, Attorney Pillacy. For clarity, right now, the existing lots that we're talking about, not this specific lot, what are the people paying taxes on?
I do not know. I don't have the tax information on these properties. Although they are in the field cards, they're part of the application. I submitted them, but I don't have them.
What are they paying it on? An R30? Are they paying taxes?
They're paying on an R12.
R12. So all this is doing is just making this particular lot an R12.
Correct, which is what they've been paying taxes on for decades.
So that all lots will be the same, R12s.
All lots will now conform. But I'd just like to make one closing statement when you get to that point.
When we get to that point. So basically, this item we're discussing is strictly dealing with property lines.
With the zoning map lines.
Yes. Zoning map lines. And this would make this whole area all conforming lots with the statement as being a R12.5.
Correct. One of the lots included in this application already does meet the R30 requirement, that the other 5 do not.
Which lot is that? He'll finish his presentation, okay, then we'll get you.
The R30 lot is 558 Davis Street. The other lots are all 12.5.
So now this R30 will it become a conforming lot with this 12.5?
It's already conforming. That lot is already conforming because it meets the R30 requirement. But the other lots do not, and the other lots will become conforming, the other 5.
So for the matter before us on 3 is dealing therefore with bringing this whole area as far as property lines into conformity.
Correct.
And it does not relate to some of the issues that have been raised, which would move us into number 4, which is dealing with a 3-family. It's dealing with wetlands. It's dealing with parking. It's dealing with whether or not that would be permitted. So maybe if this lot therefore becomes conforming, it may be decided, whatever the property owners are, may decide just a single family or whatever they may decide. We at this particular time, I want everyone on the commission to focus on the point of number 3 is the bringing the whole area into conformity with our zoning map. That to me is the primary issue on number 3.
Correct. That's the only issue in number 3.
Okay, thank you.
I have nothing further.
Do you have any other comments?
No, sir. That was just the final point I wanted to make.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from commissioners? Are there any other comments from the public? Are there any other comments? State your name and address. I believe you're not from this area that we're discussing. Am I correct? Mrs. Camara?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I just got up here
What's your
before.
address, please?
I'll take care of that, Mr. Antonetti. I
Thank
know
you.
the rules.
Okay, I'm
Okay?
glad you do.
I'm not deaf, dumb, and blind
Thank you.
here, okay?
Please state your name and address.
My name is Catherine Camera. My address is 31 Cottage Place in Oakville.
Thank you.
And the comment I have to make is I find it really obnoxious that the town has known about this zone issue for, it sounds like, decades. But when Eric Markowitz comes along, we're all going to bend over backwards to do what he wants. Thank you.
Is there any other comment on the matter before us? Sir, Mr. Everett.
Okay. John Everett, 2 Everett Lane. Want you to show me the non-conformity.
Would you please give this to the, could you give this to the clerks? Could you give this to the clerks over there? Documents, yes, Carol. Mark. What, could you go to the mic, please? Could you state on the microphone, sir? That way we can put it on the record. Thank you.
Okay.
Please state.
Again, I'm John Everett, okay?
Thank you,
And
John.
nobody in this building knows more about this property than me. 78 years I lived on this property, and now I have an individual that buys a piece of property and doesn't know the zoning. Give me a break. You purchased the property, the zoning The field card is wrong. It has been wrong. I've argued this point. It is now in the Waterbury court, okay? Because of this. This has been going on for 30, 40 years. And now all of a sudden, we have an opportunist who wants to move in and he wants to put up a 3-family, and the 3 families are non-conforming in that area, okay? The closest 3-family is 4/10 of a mile down the road. The next thing is that we have this fella that wants to put this in and he wants to change my zone. I want you to show me a place in this area. The difference between a 125 and an R30 is the density of the residency, okay? My area is more private than Mr. Pillacy's. Nobody comes on Everett Lane that doesn't realize that we have a nice place. We don't have to deal with anybody. Now, you want to allow, and I don't believe that you could put the 3-family on there, okay, based on the special permit. So whether you change my zoning or not, okay, isn't going to really bother me because my property is not going to become conforming, and neither is this property. Whether you change it or you don't, is all you're doing is affecting the neighborhood based on somebody that bought a piece of property, made a mistake, and now he wants to maximize the amount that he could get off of that for whatever it is. There'd be no issue if the person, and I'll use Eric Markowitz, wants to build a 1-family, he'll get all the help he needs. That property down the end of the road is not an eyesore prior to the fire. It is now, okay? But nobody's objecting to a nice house. 552 is my sister's. That lot is nice. She's out there constantly maintaining it and she gets all kinds of comments. If you come down, I cut along the side of Davis Street. Keep the field of view open because we come in and out of there. I have signs up there, dead end, no end, all kinds of things, okay? These people have grass grown, cars for sale, tag sales all the time, 4 years. And he knows me by my first name because I'm in there so often. I've met with the town manager. I've met with the town attorney. I've had my own attorney. I finally got a cease order and the town didn't, they issued the cease order, but they didn't put, now you want to put a 3-family in there. And my problem is that they restrict my exit, the way I get in and out of in my family. I have a handicapped grandson. That's my brother back there. He owns number 1. He walks with a cane. I don't need people blocking my road, okay, and limiting me access, my access. I've had a Watertown police officer give me a shove and threaten me with arrest, and I called his superior and had him come down because I'm being threatened on my own property. I own Everett Lane as well, okay? I own 3 of the 4 properties in the road. And I only own that road because we're trying to get water there. So again, if this shows in favor of somebody that's trying to capitalize on an investment that he bought on a tag sale basis for sale by owner from an abuser, a known abuser, just got out of jail and he purchases this from there, that's his problem, not mine. Don't involve my property.
Before you leave, sir, could you just clarify, you mentioned something that this piece of property is in court?
Yes,
Oh.
not the piece, the property in there, okay, is in court because of the property values. We are being taxed on 125. We don't have sewers. We don't have water. We don't have conforming lots, except my property increased by 33%. My brother's went up 50% on the last evaluation. My daughter now, she's the one living in it. Hers went up 50%. Everybody else's property went up 5%, okay? And Mr. Pillis's went down 70. What the heck? End of the conversation.
Any further comment from the public? Any further comment from the public? Any further comment from the applicant?
Other than to just restate that this property ought to be rezoned to make these properties again conforming. I think almost all of the issues that Mr. Everett has to do with the tax assessment of his property and with the following application for the three-family that really has nothing to do necessarily with the zone change application. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further comment from the commission?
I do have a comment, Rich. Has this ever been
Could
brought
you
up?
state your name, please?
Lou Cavallo. Has this ever been brought up for zone change prior in these meetings?
Have you had knowledge of this, Mark, of this property ever coming up before a zone change?
Certainly not in the 4 years that I've been here, but historically, if you're asking, I do not know the answer to that question.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Does the applicant have any knowledge of this?
I'm not aware that this specific property has been brought up before for zone change, but I am aware that one or more of these property owners always believed that their property was 12.5. They never realized that their property may be R30.
Thank you. Hearing no other comments,
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on item number 3 regarding the application from Attorney Pillisey for amendment to Watertown zoning map, district boundary, Davis Street, Everett Lane, from R30 to R12.5.
motion has been made to close the hearing. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Motion has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All abstentions? Hearing none, the motion is carried unanimously. That therefore moves us to item number 4. I believe this should be tabled. There is a lot left out on this particular matter. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, sir. For the reasons stated previously, there was an application is being made to the Inland Wetlands Agency, depending on this agency's decision on item number 3.
And there is wetlands that has to be considered.
That's correct.
All right. Okay, I would accept a motion to table item number 4. Do I have a motion?
Motion to table item number 4.
Who made that motion?
Ray Antonacci.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion has been made, seconded by Commissioner Ramo. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention? Motion is carried unanimously to table item number 4. Item number 5, site plan special permit on number 2020-06 from a JRD property from a 14,800 square foot industrial building and an outside storage on 192 Park Road, map 83, block number 90, lot 20, Watertown, Connecticut, IR 20 district. Applicant, Commissioner,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Franklin Pillisey on behalf of the applicant and also The applicant, John Dufour, is present, and also Alan Borghese of Borghese Associates is present. We'll state as a preliminary matter, we have provided compliance with all of the notice requirements, and the affidavit and proof of notice have been delivered to zoning staff prior to tonight's meeting. We also have obtained a letter of recommendation from the Economic Development Commission, who has reviewed this. And just as a refresher, this is the former Muskelluk farm that is now owned by the applicant, and it's for a single development of an industrial building with some outside storage that is associated, but it's essentially moving an existing long-standing business in Watertown to this location in order to allow some expansion and additional employees and so forth. And with that, I'd ask Alan to go through the site plan. This has been reviewed again by staff, and all staff comments or recommendations have been incorporated into the plans that are present tonight. Thank
I
you.
just would note for the record that the letter that was addressed to me from the Economic Development be entered into the record. Do you have a copy of that?
I have, we have seen that.
Does she have a copy? Would you enter it?
Carol has. I have seen it. Yes.
Okay, then that'll be entered in the record. Continue, sir. Would you present? State your name.
Good evening. My name is Alan Borghese. I am a registered civil engineer out of Torrington, Connecticut, Borghese Building and Engineering. And I don't know how if I can, I can't lift this. Okay, we'll just.
We all have the plans too. So.
Okay. We have a site here which is 65 acres, and there was a previous application here for a use that was denied. And in this case, what's happening is the IR 2000 zone. There's presently a house and a couple of barns totaling 8,500 square feet. Basically, right at the entrance or the existing location of those houses and barns, we are building a 800 square foot building, which will be masonry and steel. And it's going to be used for universal body and equipment. That's being relocated. It's an existing manufacturing company in Watertown that's being relocated. It's D'Annunzio Road, which is about a mile down the road, relocated here. And it's giving them a real nice opportunity to expand and really run a lot more efficiently. This building will have 3 overhead bridge cranes. It will have the space and the height so that they can make these bodies and install them on their trucks in a very efficient manner. We have adequate parking with 32 parking places and 15 future parking places, which is placed in the front of the building for, and it's all contemplated in the site plan. If you've taken a ride by the site, there are 3 very large, I believe, maple trees there, and they were damaged in this last storm. Those trees we are actually going to take down, and we are replacing them with brand new maple trees on our site. Taking them down helps 2 things. Number 1, I can regrade it to give a wonderful site access to the south of the property. The existing site direction on the north side is over 800 feet. I measured it myself. And to the south will be at least to the distance of the present stop sign that is on the road. What we've done here is we have designed the site with full cutoff lighting and to make sure that it doesn't impinge on the neighbor's yard. We did submit a lighting plan showing the lumens on all the property adjacent and showing that it doesn't affect them. We've provided a 25-foot buffer to the property to the south, which will be undeveloped, and there's a great natural tree buffer there, and 35 feet along Park Road. This development did not affect the wetlands or the wetland setback. We've kept it completely out of that area. There is an issue here that we are putting outdoor storage. The outdoor storage here will be truck parts and bodies of trucks that will be stored behind the building. In order to screen that area, At the rear of the building, we have installed a chain link fence with slats in it, 8-foot fence. And on the north side, the only side that somebody could see, we have also planted a dense tree planter of 7 Norway spruce trees. A detention pond was added at the east side of the property, and it was designed for both 1-year, 10-year, 25-year, 50-year, and 100-year storms. In order to provide a treatment system for the water we're discharging, we have selected an environmental 21 V2B1 treatment system. And what that treatment system does is intended to remove the fines that are drained off the parking lot and prevent it from entering into the soil behind it. The discharge goes to the east, out of our retention pond, and will not affect any adjacent properties at all. I'm pleased to see that a company in this present environment is expanding in Connecticut. I've got a couple of them. I'm going to stand up and just show you a couple of the views of the building and the site. And if you have questions, I'll answer. This is the site plan. Park forward. Building is facing front of the street, facing park forward with significant plantings. The elevation of the building, this is a park facing park forward. It's basically 2 levels. An office on the second level, a showroom on the first level, and then the production area, all the garages for an entrance of all the trucks. The colors we select are 3 different colors to try to make the building attractive. This is actually a gray, it doesn't show up in our coloring very, very well. And it goes to dark blue. It's a masonry. The front of the building is also masonry.
Where is the entrance for trucks, you said?
The entrance to all of it are going to be entered through a present drive now. It's kind of interesting. This is the only place on the site, nowhere over here. Going up. We're intending the trucks that are here, and we'd like to future development, next parcel, use the same entry for that. Now,
So you plan future development too?
yes, we're planning.
Yep.
As was stated here, this from the economic development portions, really think this is an excellent development for the town. We've taken every environmental precaution that is normally associated with this and even gone beyond in some cases at the suggestion of your planning and zoning department. So I'm pleased to answer, Richard, any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioners?
Through the chair, I'd just like to say that this is an excellent project. It fits our area up there, and I'm very happy to see it being proposed.
Any other comments?
These bays here, you said on the north side, and that is the side where the driveway is, or on the opposite side?
Yeah.
The driveway side? These doors here, that says it's on the north side.
Yeah.
On that print, the north side is where the driveway is, correct?
It says north elevation here, and it's looking from the north.
Okay, yep, perfect. And I also agree with Mark that this is an excellent development, an excellent piece for that, so I do agree that this fits.
Any other comments from commissioners? Any other comments? I'd just like to comment, this is an ideal developmental plan, and you got the sort of imprimatur from the economic development. This is something they constantly are looking for, this type of business. And the movement of this business to stay in town, I think is an asset. And I think it shows that our town is open for development. This is something that this commission is constantly looking for sound development and good development for the town. And I think this is also that this in any way increase any opportunities for employment.
I'm sorry.
Employment, will there be any further employees added to the company? Do you?
I'm John Dupont, the owner. I'm also the owner of Universal Volume.
Yes, you can hit your light on there.
We're here.
All right. I'll just use this one. Yeah, we intend to add more guys. We've gone backwards over the years from when I bought the business in '04, but we intend to definitely go forward. It's hard to get employees in our line of work or whatever, but we definitely are going to add more people.
Good. That's something else I think is also an asset to the community to afford more opportunities for people to be employed. And I think whenever a company comes in and there are opportunities, that's great for Watertown and the whole community. Thank you.
I agree.
Okay, is there any comment? Mark, do you have anything to wrap this up?
Mr. Chairman, as indicated, the applicant and his team had come to talk with staff on a pre-application basis. We were able to make comments, to ask for revisions to the plan, which were rather speedily turned around and provided back to the staff. We've also had some comments from the fire marshal that have been included. The plan does seem very sound. It's appropriate for the site. It fits into that portion of the site very well. The stormwater plan, which was again, we asked for revisions, which were incorporated, seems to address our concerns. We made comments, Public Works made comments with regards to sight lines. Those have been addressed. And again, staff is also pleased with the development, and anything that we were not able to adequately or thoroughly review at this point, we've made conditions of approval. We're confident that we can work with the applicant to make any final adjustments to the plan as it's implemented.
That's in the resolution, I believe.
It is.
I did see that in there. Okay, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
I heard too that your current facility on Caputo Road is being considered to be purchased by USA. Is that correct?
On D'Annunzio Road.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually made a deal with them yesterday.
Very good. Good to hear that too.
Yeah, they're going to make that into they're going to continue that as a welding shop for their use, for their business. And they're going to add some employees and people there.
Great.
They're really good people.
Yes, they are. Thank you very much. Motion would be in order, I think, to close the hearing.
No, for sure, just tap it out.
There you go. I'll make a motion to close item number 5, site plan special permit 2020-6.
Motion is made. Do I have a second?
I second it. Lou Cavallo.
Motion has been seconded. All those in favor? All those
Aye.
opposed? Abstention. Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen, and get the building up. Thank you. Okay, let's go now to next item on the agenda. Mark, we have on the agenda, is that old business there?
Yes.
Would you comment on that, Mark?
Yes, Mr. Chair. You have under old business an application for approval of a subdivision of land on Bidwell Hill Road. You may recollect that the commission approved this in 2019. The reason that it's back before you is that the Mylars were not filed with the town clerk's office in a timely fashion. Therefore, the subdivision technically expired. So it's been put back before you as a new application. While you held a public hearing last year, but the application is exactly the same as it was last year. So staff is recommending no need for an additional public hearing, and just simply asking you to approve the new subdivision application, just as you did last year, in effect to reauthorize it.
So we can take action on that right now to approve this matter.
You have a resolution to that effect.
You have that resolution, Mark?
Make a motion to pass the draft resolution regarding item number 1 under old business dated September 1st, 2020, regarding the subdivision application from John Maxwell for Maxwell Bergstrom subdivision on Bidwell Hill Road located in R90 zoning district.
I'll second the motion. Ken Demers.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The abstention motion is carried unanimously. Loop Road still outstanding. That should be tabled, Mark.
That's correct.
Okay, we'll.
That's correct. I have not heard any additional information on that item.
Motion in order for tabling, please.
Make a motion to table item number 2 under old business, Loop Road and Summit Ridge Watertown subdivision bond retainer of $112,795.27 for 2 years.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Commissioner Esposito.
Thank you.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention, motion is carried unanimously. Okay, articles on the agenda ready for possible action. Item number 1. I believe we have a draft resolution for item number 1, which is the estate of Patrick Graziano. Mark, do you have that?
I make a motion that to accept the draft resolution of the town planner and for the approval of the application of the estate of Patrick Graziano, Jennifer Yaman, executor, care of Yaman and Grant, re-subdivision of the existing lot on 384 Leachfield Road, Watertown, Connecticut.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
Second the motion. Ken
Motion
Demers.
is seconded. All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman, just to strike condition number 6.
Which one is that, Mark? All right, 6, okay.
Motion,
I make a motion to amend the motion to accept the resolution by striking condition number 6.
Second the motion.
motion has been seconded, striking number 6. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention, motion is carried unanimously. I believe item next, number 2, special permit, and this is the 3-family on Buckingham that we tabled. So we have no action on that at this time. It's been tabled.
I will remove myself from 3 and 4 again.
3 and 4, okay, bye.
Okay, Shelley, you just need a motion to table number 2. I mean, someone to make it clear.
Mark Rainbow, I'll make a motion to table item number 2 under articles on the agenda regarding site plan special permit 2020-4.
I second that motion, Ray.
Motion's been made and seconded and tabled. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention, motion is carried unanimously to table item number 2. Number 3, this is an application from Attorney Franklin for amending the Watertown zoning map R30 to a R12.5 residential. And this is, of course, bringing this area in conformity. This is not dealing anything with what is going on that property. It is bringing all the properties in conformity with our zoning map.
I make a motion that the draft resolution of the planning administrator for the town of Watertown regarding this property be accepted and the application be granted based on the fact that it's always in favor of zoning to go from non-conforming to conforming uses. And this apparently is what would happen under this application, strictly from a zoning point of view.
Do I have a second on that resolution?
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstention. Hearing none, motion is carried unanimously. Item number 4 was tabled. It will need to be a motion to retable this matter.
Mark Ramo, make a motion to table item number 4 under articles on the agenda. Application from Attorney Franklin Pillacy for site plan special permit 2020-5.
I second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Abstention? Motion is carried unanimously. Item number 5, this is dealing with the site plan special permit number 2020-06. I believe you have a resolution there.
I make, there's a resolution here from Mark Massoud, Administrator for Land Use in Watertown. I make a motion that it be accepted and that the application be approved.
I second that.
Motion has been made and seconded by Commissioner Cavallo. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstained? Motion is carried unanimously. Informal discussion. Do we have anything for informal discussion, Mark? Thank you. Then administrative, and next meeting will be October 7th, same time, same place, and the motion to adjourn. Motion has been made. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Carried unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen, and Carol, for your attention. You can shut off your mics.